That was the wrong one. Okay, it took me a minute to get everything, but we are here. Hopefully other people will show up soon enough. But you know what? This was going to be a fun little session that took place over weeks, maybe months, as you know, we're dealing with the fallout of some recent events. But who are we? What are we doing here? Well, this is Strict Roll. We play Dungeons and Dragons, or at least something that is very similar to Dungeons and Dragons, depending on how weird everybody gets and how much I have to drink. I am Warp Films. You can also call me Andy. I will answer to Mr. Films, but that's a little too formal. We have Flint Uwood here.
Hello. And I play the ever-loving Joseph Lucerno, who also who is also apparently the royal spy, the royal assassin, and as well several other things. He's a general on top of everything else, but don't really ask him about that kind of thing because he's just kind of like, my men just stab each other and come back the next day when they're training. I don't know how.
Yeah, Joseph is just basically heaping new job titles onto himself. And because Jielith has been off doing Jielith things as his player couldn't, join us for the past few weeks, even when Jielith is here, he's pretty like, yeah, you can take over, you can do whatever. As long as he gets to fight something once in a while, he doesn't care. But what has Joseph been up to? Last time we saw him and the group had, while off doing other adventures, had passed through the small hamlet of Yorick, where they, of course, stuck their nose into local politics, saved the town Dave, and, a little bit of an attempt to usurp the town Dave at the same point, but that was Shiv. But since then, Kyle, what has Joseph been doing around the land of Evialia?
Joseph has been trying to train the military, which he calls the Evialia regulars. Although he's currently thinking maybe I should just call them the Evialia irregulars. And on top of that, he's been sort of keeping the fellow rogues of his that come in and out of the city, or in and out of the country, kind of at peace and helping them out whenever they come through, just because he wanted to set up a spy network, but also a place for other rogues to just chill out for a moment and possibly possibly hide out for a little while before going on to their next job.
I will say that I'm not going to use the term rogues for them. We're just outright going to call them criminals, because they come from all walks of life. And, a wizard can commit crimes and be a part of a crime network just as well as anybody else. But yes, you do have a pretty steady supply of criminals coming in. And while there are no official rules for anything, they all kind of respect the neutrality of Evialia. And, so they come in and yes, they're trading information. They're selling the things that they couldn't sell anywhere else, which means that there are literal carts of red sand and other nefarious drugs that are just coming right through. But that also kind of brings us to King Jielith Ator. It's been a little while since we've seen the king.
Yes.
Jesse Crumpler 64 himself. What has Jielith been up to recently?
I gotta roll some bones here to see which of the ways of the path laid before me.
And speaking of bones, I got these nice buffalo bone dice from Misty Mountain Gaming. Let me double check the name. Yes, Misty Mountain Gaming. You think I could remember 5 words, but I'm a dungeon master. I can't remember anything. And another thing I am terrible about. We are brought to you by Ma Energy, because you need a lot of energy to try to keep up with the weird crap players are going to do, like training a bunch of farmers to be the equivalent of a regular military, when all the people do is go through the exact motions you showed them to stab each other to death. then get up the next day and come back and stab each other to death again. We're going to dive more into that in just a bit. But you can find links to Ma Energy in the below us. And this is 60 servings right here in this small container. That is so much of any other canned drink, and it just sits right here on top of my hourglass. Jielith, what did you roll for us? I'm doing terrible with the intros today, but we're kind of a little off kilter, even for us.
All right. So what I rolled is, so in terms of Jielith's journey, I guess we could just call it. So is where it's like he just took some time for himself to basically get a better understanding of these visions, nightmares, whatever you call it, of these unicorns that just invade him when he goes into sleep paralysis in a way. So his first journey was just basically, if I just sleep, they will come. Doesn't matter what time of day, right? So he sleeps all day and stays up all night.
Mm-hmm.
So by testing this theory, unicorns and such visions don't happen. So it's like, so they must wait for me to come at night. So he stays up all day and then he goes into bed at night and tries to get himself to so tired that there is no way that he'll probably sleep through a majority of the day. So he has a best chance to get a hold of whatever this unicorns and process comes. So he sleeps. The next thing he knows, he finds out he wakes up in one of the cells. From what it accounts when he asked for a recount from Withers, he said he went into so much of a rage and claimed that any moving object was a unicorn coming to get him, that they had all the servants had to bring him down and poison him to where he would be knocked out, and they threw him in the cell for safekeeping. That is what the bones tell me of the Jielith's journey.
I'm not sure what happens if I mix any alcohol with the Ma, and I don't think it's a good idea. Because I do not want to be one of those guys at the casino that's getting vodka and Red Bull. Okay, yeah, that has definitely been Joseph. And we're also going to say there's one thing that I've been, wanting to do for a little while with Joseph. So during one of, the times when he was normal, you do get told that there has been a council of lords has been called, and you are expected to show up for it.
What about the king? Does he have to show up too?
I was talking to Jielith.
He said Joseph.
Oh, Jielith.
Hey, Joseph, you mind being a representative? Well,
Do you want
to? I imagine it's like, I imagine that there's supposed to be a summons. Joseph goes, hang on, and then looks everywhere for Jielith, and then he finds reports he's in the cell. Like, what is he doing in the cell?
Yeah, Withers brought the invitation on a velvet cushion, and because Jielith was still under the effects of the poisoning, Joseph was the only person to hand it to. Yes, this is for Jielith. Now, it does say that you are allowed to bring along, counsel or your royal assassin. It specifically does say you can bring an assassin with you.
They're aware of the kingdom and their ways and their traditions.
So I figure, Joseph, you're probably having to pour some water on Jielith, maybe slap him around a little bit to get him awake.
Wake up! The lords are calling us to.
I'm up.
Only 9 times this time. Next normally it's 12.
Improvement, I guess. What you need?
I hold up the card, and it came on a very cushy pillow as well. But yeah, yeah, velvet, crushed velvet.
And very nice calligraphy. Somebody spent time writing this invitation out.
Oh, they must have a very patient monk. Let me take a look at it.
It's actual gold pressed latinum ink as well.
I'm gonna hand it back to Joseph in case it's a fine parchment he doesn't want to ruin.
I just slide it into the inner pocket of my arm. But yeah, I would think that we need to go and deal potentially with a bunch of hoity-toity lords who are probably going to be a mixture of werewolves, vampires, and several other things that normally people are very afraid of, and we just have to be able to finesse the fine socialness of it all, while also asserting our dominance, like as if we're a dog humping somebody else's leg.
And needless to say, they put a lot of work in that piece of parchment. We don't, if they're willing to put that much work into it, they must really want our attention.
Or it could have been just another Tuesday. We don't know how rich these lords are.
Jielith tries not to have dollar signs in his eye after you say that. Very true. Very true.
They might have personal armies. They might have.
Or that. Yes. Yes.
So let's go and speak with our lords and ladies and, well, your lords and ladies, my colleagues and competition. I look at the invite again. I pull out the invite again and I go, it's very specific on the assassins. Very specific on the assassins.
Well, we make that very clear of the ways how this kingdom works and your title as well. So I'm pretty sure they will, as a way to request that for you to come along as well, Joseph.
I think it's not just me.
Are you friends with other people that claim to be my assassin?
No, I think they have assassins as well.
Well, if anything, you can talk amongst other assassins, you know, assassins, however they do it.
I just kind of look around and go, I'm going to need a bigger drinking horn and several other things. Oh, God.
Then pack your bags, go.
That would be an excellent way of asking, is there any special gear you want to bring along? Like, I assume that Jielith has the stupidly oversized sword.
Yes, he always has SOS nearby.
I figure he probably carries about as many weapons as he can physically carry. So the trident is also there.
Yeah, trident on the back, SOS at the hip, which sometimes can drag on the ground, and then hand axes to the belt.
You might have had to like attach a wheel to the end of the scabbard so
Basically,
that SOS
yeah.
rolls.
When he gets a certain terrain, he just gets a wheel from the cart.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Jielith is decked out like an anime general of the army.
Yeah, and in as much as I want to bring the blunderbuss, I'm not trained on that yet, so that is staying in the castle.
Okay. You know, you have had time. You could have brought it to someone to learn about it. But okay, this is Jielith we're talking about. So
yeah, well, the last of anything, I imagine during the raids, they're trying to make sure Jielith didn't get his hands on the blunderbuss during his sleep deprived raid.
That's a fair point. Someone's probably locked it up somewhere.
Yeah, so that's why I imagine it is conveniently locked away in a gun safe.
Yeah.
And then, well, after they had to make a safe to hold the gun.
That sounds fair. Joseph, do you need anything special before you go to the council?
I'm going to need a poisoner's kit and an antidote kit.
Okay, I figure for you that's normal gear anyway. So
it's like, why would you need both at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, mundane gear is not a problem for you guys, and I figure that's normal kit for someone in your profession. Okay, so when you get everything ready, you can go find Withers, and he'll like, follow me this way, please. He opens up what was probably at one time a broom closet, but now this time it leads into like a large room with a mirror at the end. Only the mirror is black and rippling, and he gestures for you to walk through.
Oh, Black Mirror, heard of that TV series.
No, but I just hope we don't have tiny little things walking around with people's brains inside.
Never know, that could be improvement around these parts.
You do actually still have a couple of gnomes who had to get put into orc bodies, and they are just still trying to figure out the mechanics of being tall.
Gosh, that's a level of hell I'd never want to experience.
I just honeysuckle, nougat, and Fredrickson. Why are you still in the?
No, they're just like in the community because they're not like it. God help them. Let's see if they got out of the castle. Okay, yes, they were able to get out of the castle.
Oh boy.
It's just like, it's going to take them a little bit of rehabilitation before they can go back to their old jobs, but they're hoping that maybe some more gnome-sized bodies will come up and you'll rebrain them again.
That's a sentence.
Carry the 2, subtract 4.
But anyway,
divide by 25. That's
Magic
gonna be a lot.
Mirror, do you walk through it?
Yeah.
Quick inventory check. Axis, trident, SOS, we're good.
I feel like Joseph probably has to like turn sideways and scoot through most doorways at this stage. So he's like, all right, this is my and then like reaches around, unhooks the SOS from whatever he got hung on, pulled to the doorway.
And then and if the little wheel the SOS is attached to gets a little squeaky, he's there with the oil can ready to go.
Yes.
Not Joseph. Joseph constantly keeps that thing oiled just because it's like Jielith wakes up in the morning and there's Joseph in the middle of his room just oiling the wheel for the SOS.
So you appear in a lavishly decorated castle, and there is for lack of a better term, there is just a butler standing there. It's like, yes, and you are?
I am King Jielith, and this is my royal assassin, Joseph.
Very good. The rest of the lords are waiting for you. He turns to you, Sir Joseph. If you would like to join the rest of the royal assassins, and he gestures towards a dark, creepy hallway with a door that creaks open, and you just see the reflection of light hitting other people's eyes staring back at you, but you can't quite make out their forms.
I just under my breath whisper the word of power for my smoldering armor to start smoking. That way nobody can see me just physically cringe as the door actively squeaks. And I walk through.
Okay. We're going to stick with Joseph for just a moment. So,
Yep.
Joseph, when you walk in and the door shuts, you realize it's partly an illusion that keeps it dark. It's dim in there, but yeah, you're in the room with about, 5 or 6 other individuals. There might be some more hidden away. And, they'll start to introduce themselves as, I am the assassin of light, and I am the assassin of fire. And so before, it comes up to our point, who all here is here to kill who, and we'll try to coordinate and, work together as much as possible.
I haven't been given any orders just because, the king doesn't know who he wants to deal away with yet.
Oh, so do you want to just kill everybody? Because you look over and there is one guy who's like got like 2 knives, like, yeah, let's kill everybody. Pete, we told you got to play by the rules. So, if we kill them all, there are no more rules, man.
Pete, we kind of need rules because if we kill them all, we don't get paid. And if we don't get
Their
paid,
death is my payment.
Okay, so who's got which target tonight, and shall we draw lots on who's helping who?
Okay, I'm gonna let Joseph be working on that as we jump back over to Jielith, who is being led through to a large dining hall, as the butler, announces you, King Jielith, Lord of Shadow, the Death of Hope. And he leads you into your seat. Around you are a collection of, you have like, I'm not going to call her a Yuanti, but she's definitely like, a snake woman. Then there is across from you, just glaring at you, is, well, the centaur unicorn, where the were unicorn. Just lower body is a horse, upper body is that of a humanoid, but covered head to hoof in silver fur with the horn. And at the head of this whole thing is a man in a dark clothes with red trim, high collar, big flowing cloak. Yes, hello everybody, thank you so much, so glad to see all these new faces here. I guess that isn't good if you're one of the old faces though. But let us get to everything. For those of you who do not know, I am Count Strahd. Thank you so much for being here. We have representatives from the lords of all the domains that are nexuses to this plane.
Is there food served yet at this place?
There is currently wine and some cheese trays set out.
Good. I immediately start just I'm just like, don't say anything, just wait for someone to wait to be addressed.
Okay, so yeah, he's going to go through making introductions, but you basically have lords of light, fire, water. It seems like every major plane has a representative here. Most of these people reflect their element in some way. So, but occasionally, you have someone who does not, and they just glance over that. So, like when you have the snake woman who has red scales, she's from fire. And then over on air, you've got, someone made who apparently is like very connected to ice. So it's just, they just sort of glance over it. And like, so we will first we will get to new business, then we'll do old business, then there will be desserts and assassinations following the desserts. So the big thing that is happening is that the prime plane seems to be out of balance, and the were unicorns like, I don't know what you're talking about, it all seems fine to me. It's like, it has been summer for 8 months straight. I am pretty sure that is not normal. So if anyone happens to know, we are, of course, looking to restore the balance, because none of us are going to be able to exist without balance. And I'm going to have some adventurers showing up in my castle. I'm going to have to get in the character here in a couple hours. So let's just try to hit the high point so we can, get on with our immortal torments and all of that. So I do see here that Lord Jielith, you have been doing some nice work expanding your domain. It looks like, we've been getting reports that it has been growing more than usual. That is very good. If you could spread that despair and hopelessness, that'll really help to counterbalance some of what's happening.
You got it.
And so there's going to be, some more little things going on. And basically it's everybody's just like, something's off. But if the plane, the prime material plane, gets to be thrown too much towards light, then these nexuses might dry up. He's just asking everybody, be vigilant, try to figure out what's happening, spread your power as much as possible, because even especially if despair and the Shadowfell nexus can grow, maybe it can take over everything, and that helps him out personally. The other planes sort of throw up a little bit of hiss about that, like, what, I have my own responsibilities to deal with. Okay, well, we will all have we have a hot fudge sundae bar, and then we will begin assassinations attempts immediately after that. So needless to say, you guys are going to survive that. But so we'll jump over to sometime later when you're back in Evialia.
Oh, thank goodness they didn't even break out a PowerPoint. What a great meeting.
They did send
Yeah.
you a whole lot of notes for you to review at your leisure, but
And of course, Jielith didn't read a single one.
of course not.
Joseph's just sitting there looking at all the cue cards and all the notes that Jielith is supposed to be reviewing. Just kind of like, we'll be able to do that one. We can work with that one. That one's just completely out of the question.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you what, Joseph, you give me an intelligence check, please.
Just imagine Joseph. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was that roll, Joseph?
I got a 12.
A 12?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of this clearly wasn't meant to make sense to normal people, because it's just like, this nexus has been open longer than normal. Maybe that's got something to do with an attempt to rebalance things. It's basically it's like a technical manual for the supernatural nexuses, and it does not make a lick of sense to you at all. But Strahd has written in little hand notes specifically on Jielith, which is like, doing good work, keep spreading that darkness. Don't tell any of the others about this. This is just a side note. And somewhere in there was probably like, I've arranged for some of the assassins of light to get waylaid, so don't go after like the following. And since Jielith didn't read those notes, there was probably just him beating the people over the head with other people by the time that fight was over. Even though some of them were probably there to try to help him, he just like, you are not my weapon.
I don't have a sword. You are no sword.
Yes.
I just point out on that specific card, you probably should have read this before that fight.
I'm going to imagine that like somebody runs up and does like, here, hold my giant sword. Now I'm going to use you to wield the wielder of the sword being wielded. Okay. So the other thing happening around Evialia, like I said, there's a lot of criminal enterprise coming through, because the closest thing you have to guards are the paperwork, the personal guards of the castle itself. Yeah. After that, nobody really pays attention to anything. So, like I said, you got some criminal enterprise moving through, but so far they don't seem to be killing each other. Although some of them are talking about things like the packs of wild dogs that seem to be showing up. There's some monster that's taking over a bridge, but they just sort of go around it, because if they call in knights from some of the other places, it might draw too much attention to Evialia, and they don't want they don't want anything resembling law and order in this place. So it's easier to go around the toll bridge than it is to just go through and deal with whatever's there. Because, they also tend to be a little bit cowardly. Well, not cowardly, selfish. There's no reason to risk your life doing something that you can go get somebody else to do later on.
True.
So, Jielith, shall we handle shadow puppies or troll or potential? Why is somebody setting up a toll bridge and not paying us tolls? That is seriously like, that's a very New Jersey thing to do. Taxing a bridge, but not really sending it to the government.
So, fight puppies or deal with a bridge?
Infrastructure or animal control?
Fighting or civilization? Do I need really a state opinion here?
Fighting or fighting? But okay, which just depends on, do you want puppies at the end of the fight, or do you want, gold? Puppies are always fun.
Yeah, but puppies can't pay the bills. Unless can we exploit the puppies for some way of gold?
We could use the puppies to help us with the bridge afterwards.
Ah, 2 puppies, 1 stone. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Okay, so while I am trying to pull up everything, I'll say give me a let's call it a survival check for hunting.
Okay. 16 for Jielith.
Okay. Yeah, I'm having so much trouble finding this link again. I had it
A
just the other
19,
day.
a 19 for Joseph.
Okay.
I
All
want to
right.
find a puppy. I want to name him Shadowfax. I want to keep him as the greatest puppy.
Oh my gosh.
So
Now I see why Joseph was leaning more towards the puppy when talking
Yeah.
to Jielith.
yeah, it's not going to take you long to find like where some of the most recent reports are. You talk to a few people. It's like, yeah, there's these big ugly black dogs that keep coming out, and he kind of points towards one of the more shadowed passageways through the woods. So you can with that roll, you can like try to set up whatever you want for tracking them down.
I don't want to say Joseph uses Jielith like a bloodhound.
So just do wheelbarrow with him, just like nose to the ground. Find it, boy.
Yeah.
Find it.
But he is using Jielith like a living dowsing rod.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, just go ahead and walk me through this. Exactly what does that look like?
It looks like he's got Jielith as a wheelbarrow holding onto his ankles. What he'll first do is he'll guide him up towards one of the recent attacks to let him just sniff the area, and then he'll start wandering around to let him gather the trail.
Okay.
And we just do hot and like cold as signals. We're getting closer or not.
Because of that, I want you each to give me initiative at disadvantage.
Yay! That's how we know we're going somewhere.
I cannot hear you, Kyle.
9.
9.
Yep.
Oh
no!
Okay. Which is great because I'm being held.
Yeah. It really does work out well.
So in order for Kyle to do anything, he has to tell Joseph, all right, drop.
Yeah.
And I start prone.
So that is why right around an hour or two after sundown of you wandering around like this, these things just come out literally of the darkness where you couldn't see them, and they start attacking you. I know even with Jielith, what is your AC?
AC is 18.
Okay, yeah, that one ain't gonna hit. That one ain't gonna hit.
I love they all go towards the wheelbarrow first.
Well, you are sort of the easiest target, but
I know. I just love like Joseph's like, oh, what is going on?
Yeah, so like 5 of these big shadowy hounds just latch on, but they all bit into armor. And Joseph,
meanwhile, Joseph, I want you and you.
I'm going to say you see 5 attached to him right now, but none of them managed to bite more.
I just imagine just turn to Joseph, found him.
I can't hear you.
At this point, I will drop Jielith's ankles, and I will reach behind me like as if I'm going to pull out a giant rolled up newspaper, but it's going to be a giant rolled up leather leather roll, and I'm just gonna start smacking the end nose of each one of the wolves, going, stay.
Okay, roll me an attack, and we'll call this a 1d4. Basically, this will be a mace. So
I got a 20.
okay, that hits one.
Four.
Okay, and you have simple weapons. So go ahead and add your modifiers to that too.
So that's 7.
Okay. Yeah, here's the thing though. It barely flinches when you hit it with that. But that was enough to make it really mad at you. Jielith, you are basically prone at the moment with all
Yep.
these things biting into you.
Well, I'm gonna have to have my move to get up.
Yes.
So are they when I get up? Are they just
Yeah, there's a
attacking?
couple that have latched onto your arms and they came up with you.
Okay, so I imagine it's like since imagine they're just instincts. It's just go for the belt and grab one of the hand axes and go for the nearest one.
Okay. We'll go ahead and say that one is, well, because of all the balancing, we'll say this is just a regular attack.
Okay. All right, so that's gonna be 22 total on the hand at swing.
Okay. Yeah, 22 hits. Good God.
All right, and that's gonna be 10 slashing damage on that.
Okay. So yeah, you slash into, we're going to call it the same one as that Joseph just hit.
Okay.
So you said you did 10?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it barely scrapes along its hide.
okay, then he'll just like switch hands. So now he's dual wielding, and with the other one going for the other side now.
Okay, go for the other side.
All right, that one's going to be 18 total,
18 hits.
and that will be 6 slashing.
Okay. Yeah, needless to say, that's not the amount of damage it takes. But
Yes.
you do, like pop it, and it's enough to make them each, like let go of your arms. As they all go for the attack again. One is going for Joseph specifically, as if he's annoyed.
And I imagine during this time, the Jielith will just calmly just look over to Joseph. I'm sorry, Joseph. I forgot to mention if we're taking these guys alive. Like after he's just holding it.
Which are, one of them drips a little bit with a couple of drops of dark blood. Joseph, that is a 16 to hit you.
That does.
Okay. And let me get my D6. That is going to be 6 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a strength saving throw. I can't hear you if you said anything.
14 on the strength saving throw.
Okay, so you do not get knocked down as this one latches onto you. See, another one's going to bite you for 15.
That meets my armor class.
Okay, so we're going to make one more strength save for me as I roll damage for that one.
Nat 20.
Nice, because you're going to take 14 points of piercing damage this time. And Jielith, 3 more are going for you, but only 2 will hit, one with a nat 20. So
Wonderful.
Go ahead and make 2 saving throws for me.
Okay, first roll 22 on the save.
Okay.
And second roll 15 on that save.
All right. So neither one knocks you down. You're going to take 9 points of piercing from one.
Okay.
And you are going to take 15 from the nat 20.
Got it.
Okay. And Joseph, it is your turn again.
I am going to turn on the one that bit me first, and I'm going to use my psychic blades to attack him
Okay.
for a 21.
21 hits. I can't hear you.
For 5 damage. Do I get my sneak attack on that as well?
Yes, because you have Jielith over there who's just probably about to go ham on everything.
So yeah, total of that is actually 14. So it's the 5 damage plus 9 from sneak attack, and then
Okay.
I go for my bonus action with the stabby stab again.
Okay.
So 24.
Yeah, 24 hits.
For 5 damage.
Okay. And these were both with psychic blades.
Yeah.
Okay. Jielith, it is your turn.
Hey, do I still have the mother fudgers attached to me?
Sorry, what?
Do I still have still have them attached to me?
Oh no. Once you hit them, they kind of fell off to go for your
Okay.
legs.
Oh, now the great one for the legs. All right.
Yeah.
So now with those detached, I'll just drop the hand axes, and that's where I'll switch to SOS.
Okay. So
All
you
right, so
you
go
pull out
for
the
the
giant two-handed sword.
yeah. So now going for the one to my left leg,
Okay.
and with that swing, that'll be 22 total.
Yeah, that hits.
Then that'll be 17 slashing.
Okay. Then that's still only doing half damage. So I will adjust for that. Okay. You have anything else this round?
Right,
You got
and
2 attacks per round, don't you?
yeah, 2 attacks. So I'll
Okay.
go for the one for the right.
Okay.
That will be only 11.
Oh, 11 does not hit. So this one, you swing for it, and it's like the blade does hit, but it seems like, it just sort of parts around the blade this time. So I am going to roll to see what's going to happen. All right. There is a horrific howling sound coming from the shadows. I need both of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Beautiful. 12.
Okay.
3.
Okay. Joseph, you are frightened for 1 minute as this much larger is still considered a medium creature, but it is definitely bigger than the other dogs around you comes out. And yeah, you're gonna be terrified of that thing. Jielith, this is just one more contender to you.
Yeah.
But the hounds are going to start to attack. And yeah, 2 of them are going to hit Jielith. Let me roll that. That's going to be, I think I said, yeah, that'll be 11 piercing damage from one and 13 from another. We're not going to do the strength saving throw every time because that'll get old.
Okay.
And you were able to handle them all before, so we're not going to worry about that. All right. So that is going to be, just let me double check one of their abilities. Yeah, the one that you were just beating on, Joseph, it basically becomes invisible. So, you stab it with your psychic blades and it just sort of whimpers and fades into the shadows again. But it is your turn.
I'm pretty much stuck to running away from the big dude, aren't I?
Well, you don't want to get any closer to it. But you've also got like 4 others, that are currently inside of you. Mechanically speaking, you can't get any closer. If you choose to turn that into running away, that's cool.
I'm going to quickly stab the one that's still attached onto Jielith, and then as my bonus action, I'm going to disengage and run.
Okay, make that attack roll.
18 with the Psychic Blades attack.
That hit.
So, oh wow. If I get my sneak attack on it, it's triple sixes.
Okay, you get your sneak attack.
Okay, so yeah, for the actual first bit of the attack, the actual first bit of the psychic damage, it's 7. But
Okay.
then I rolled triple sixes on the on the sneak attack, so it's like 25.
Okay. Yeah, you just lay into this thing. Like you leave a huge gash down it. It is like literally got shadow stuff coming out of the wound right now as it starts to howl. And that's when you do that and then you just run off right quick. Like its howl of pain distracts the others so that you can get away from it. And it too is going to try to like limp away, sort of fading into the shadow again. Joseph, that leaves you with Jielith, that leaves you with 3, and then that big one that's watching you from the distance.
So imagine just like he's taking a lot of hits, but he's like in that moment, it just like, finally an opponent. Let's get him, Joseph. Joseph?
Sorry, Jielith, that pumper's too big.
Seeing that, Jielith knows he's going to be outnumbered. So we're going to do a bonus action second wind. So I'll get back 14 hit points.
Okay.
And disengage and join Joseph.
Okay. I am going to say I want athletics checks from both of you while you run.
You got it.
Can mine be acrobatics as I parkour through it?
I'll allow it because you specified parkour.
All right. I got a 16 on athletics.
Okay.
I got a 15 on acrobatics.
Okay. So yeah, you feel these things kind of nipping at your heels. Which direction are you running?
I'm running and swinging like with
I
tree
mean like
branches
to town or away from town?
to town.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, they are staying, but the closer you get to the main part of the city where there's more, torch lights and everything, they finally sort of peel off, but not before you hear, the almost mocking howl following after you. The shadow hounds will continue to be a problem.
Beautiful.
They're
Charles
scary.
just went down to 10 like 12 health, and this was like, no. I know math. On the very basic levels, but I know math.
Joseph just looks at Jielith and goes, "I'm sorry about that, but I am not used to them disappearing when I attack."
It's okay. As he's just like kind of holding up like bites from his like arms. It's okay. It was unforeseen, and we could not fully predict our enemy. We will regroup and relearn.
But
As somebody is like walking by with a cart of turnips, like, oh, Shadow Masters, just keeps
Yep.
on walking.
Yeah. See you two later, Craig.
Hi, my lord.
Wait, Craig, you know about Shadow Master?
Yeah.
Well, how
We won't
does
waste your time.
one-
Bye, Craig.
Bye. Starts to walk away.
I just look Jielith in the eye at that point and I go, "Do you want a pupper?"
Yes, but one that won't bite and possibly kill me.
Well, that's why you make friends with the big gnarly puppers of shadows. I mean, after all, apparently aren't you the lord of hope and of loss of hope and despair?
I want you to make perception checks as you say that out loud.
Well,
Sex.
Okay, it's business as usual in town.
Yeah, it is where like Jielith just looks at Joseph like, okay, I get your point, but we were simply outmatched. So either we bring backup or we find someone who is more skilled in these massive, more like if there is such thing as a shadow trainer. Maybe we could ask Craig if we on another day.
Craig does
Somebody
seem
kind of
to
slips
know.
up side you, like, hey, you need a little extra backup, to take something out, and I got the next best thing. This, he like holds up a small clay pot of red sand, like, use some of this. You're gonna have the energy of 3 people. It ain't gonna be no problem for you to deal with it, whatever it is you got to deal with.
It isn't this.
I don't need your fancy protein powder, but thank you.
Joseph just pulls up a canteen and he opens it up and he goes, I don't need red sand. I've got more energy.
I got nothing for that.
That was
Like,
really good.
all right, man. Cool. But hey, if you run out of that, I got this right over here. It ain't as good, but it'll get the job done.
I just grab the guy by the neckline and I just lift him up and I go, okay, one thing. You're a guest here, but you need to take care of who you're selling it to. So you don't just show up, start giving them a fix, and then, dealing with it like as if it's, you just making a quick buck. If they're going to be your customers, you got to act like as if you're an apothecary. So when you start seeing signs of addiction, you need to help them quit it.
I want you to first give me a strength check for lifting them up. That's going to determine the next roll.
17.
Okay, impressive. Go ahead and make an intimidation at advantage.
Sorry, 11.
Okay. And he's just going to kind of, you got him up by the neck, lift him up. He's on his toes trying to keep air going through. It's like, kind of like knocks your hand away. It's like, hey, man, there ain't no rules around this place. We'll do whatever we want. Okay. So you don't want to buy. That's cool. Ain't nobody making you buy. Go on about your business.
Actually, I point to Jielith. That's the king.
So,
oh, la-di-da. Well, your majesty, you want to buy some red sand, that's cool. But until then, I'm going to do whatever I want because ain't nobody around here actually enforcing no rules. You know what? And he pulls out a hat. You know what? I'm the Duke.
Ah, sweet. We were looking for a new Duke. Come here.
Now he's very confused because I don't think Jielith needs to make that strength check. He's just...
No. Brothers, we got a Duke. Come on.
Now the guy's just confused. What are you doing with him?
Give him a little taste of his own medicine. There's no rules here. All right, we'll put you in a position where there's rules.
Wait, what's going on here?
Don't worry, my buddy Joseph will put you into shape.
I'm just walking behind, just gleefully smiling like an evil maniac.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they believe this is slavery, but we're gonna just as Jielith, knowing that he is about the destroyer of hope, he's now leaning more towards that.
Okay. Go ahead and describe to me what your end goal here is, and we'll figure out what roles, if any, are needed.
We're just breaking this guy because where it's like he did disrespect the king, and
Yes.
is where it's like, yeah, he could just kill him, but what would that prove?
Mm-hmm.
But if we break him, like psychologically, which he knows Joseph can do,
Yes.
then it's like either he becomes an outstanding citizen or we put him in his place.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be
Okay,
you-
how are you
you're
going
to
about
be
breaking
Vlad
him?
Tepes.
Like,
So-
are you just dragging him into the cells of the castle?
Oh yeah,
Or-
we're bringing him to the cells.
Okay. Go ahead and walk me through the scene, please.
All right, so we get him to the. He gets into the cell. And there's just Jielith just simply ties him to a chair. If I need to make a roll, I'll gladly do it.
I'm gonna say no for the moment, but I'll let you know if that changes.
Right.
I want to see what I want to see the whole thing before I try to start throwing
so-
rolls in.
And then he'll just have just have one of the people, the paperwork, just kind of stand as a guard outside of the cell gate, and then we'll just shut the door, and it's just Jielith, Joseph, and Duke in there.
Yeah, subform 33 is standing guard.
Yeah, there we go.
So what at this point, once the guy's tied down in the room with the cube, Joseph takes the video orb and he goes through the functions till he finds one of the saved videos of Queen Evialia. And then every single time this guy starts getting out of line over the questioning and telling of the duties that he's going to have as a duke, Joseph will just start playing the video right in front of him with the audio gain turned up just a bit more so that she sounds like Fran Drescher from The Nanny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can like project that onto a wall with this orb. I'm not even going to ask you to Arcana roll. You just figured that out right away. Okay, let me start giving him some sanity rolls.
Okay.
Okay, that's that. Go ahead and start in with explaining to him what his rules are, what his duties are. I'm having fun with this. I want to see where you two go with it.
So Jielith will start, and just simply where it's like, well, first of all, welcome, Duke. This is a castle, and if you're do good today, this will be your room.
Hey, this is not what I signed up for. I was told that we could act freely around here.
Indeed, and welcome to the king.
Whenever this guy starts talking, I will just start playing the Fran Drescher as well.
Okay. Jielith, continue with your pitch.
And it's what's okay. So before we begin, yes, I am king. So the first rule of the ways of kings, of the ways of the dukes here, you need to simply recite the words of, I suck. I am no greater than Jielith. Jielith is greatest person of all. We all love Jielith, and we recite it every day like the Pledge of Allegiance.
What he starts reciting is so foul, I'm not going to repeat it on camera because he just rolled a 20 to resist. So yeah, he just starts telling you what he really feels of you and what you can do with all your sharp implements. Some of them are anatomically possible, but I wouldn't recommend them.
I just look over the orb and I go, ooh, inner mind projection.
All right, for that, I do want an Arcana check. Let's see if you can figure that function
that moment's
out.
like, no, Joseph, the cuss extra.
Oh, damn, I rolled a 4.
See, I told you.
You make a wisdom save for me.
Oh no, you're gonna sign up for a premium package. Back out.
3.
3. Okay. As you're like you know it's in here and you're trying to figure it out, you actually get an image in your head. This is a very young Princess Evialia.
Oh God.
She's standing with a man who is telling her, and all of this can be yours to do with as you please. Like, I can really be a real princess? Yes, you can. But you're going to have to be strong enough to hold it. How do I do that? Like, you'll have to find ways of accumulating power. And he pulls out the orb you're holding right now. It's like, let's start with admiration. And now you're back in the cell.
I just look at the orb, and then I look at Jielith, and then I look at the orb, And then I look at the guy. And then I go, so she wasn't always a Twitch thought.
That reminds me, are you broadcasting?
And if he's going through functions,
Okay.
that would disable that feature.
Okay.
Unless he's going through filters, that's the only way that would not interrupt the broadcast.
I just want to know if y'all were sharing this
No,
moment.
we're not. This
Okay.
is
Okay.
this is where it's like Jielith had a bad day. This guy got under his skin and he said
Okay.
took matters in his own hands.
So that happens to Joseph. Jielith, this man is just, he is willfully disrespecting you. I mean, like verbally, if he could get his hands free, he'd probably slap you around a little bit.
That's when I'd be like, I forget the which is representative of the paperwork.
Subform 33.
33.
Subform 43. Bring me the gun.
Very well, sir. Let me make another roll for this guy. What you talking about? What gun?
Oh, sorry, you must be new here. Oh, it's about yay long with a big nose on it. In fact, Joseph, watch him. I'm gonna go look for it.
Subform 33 is getting it. You don't have to look for it yourself. That's why you have underlings. They get the things for you.
I know, but if he doesn't know what it is, how can I trust he's gonna bring back the right one?
No, this was the prisoner, the Duke, who was asking that question.
Sorry.
Your guard has immediately gone off to get it.
I thought that was him saying that. And it was like,
Yeah,
oh, you're new here.
I need to start doing more drastic voices.
Sorry. All right, I got it.
Okay. So we're just gonna start calling him Duke now.
Okay.
Duke is like, look, ma'am, you just let me go now, and there ain't gonna be no problem. All right. Do you know who I represent?
Nope. Other than the Duke of this kingdom.
As he keeps up with this, I ain't some nobody, all right. I matter around, in certain circles, and that's
Just
when
like the Duke of
the
this
guard
kingdom.
comes back with your blunderbuss.
All right, so I just grab the gun and I just put basically the end of the barrel just right against his chest. I don't have my finger on the trigger, and it goes to him. Listen, this little device has the power to make a cavity into your chest before you can even blink. But here's the thing. I've never used this thing before. So how much do you trust me when I put my fingy in this triggy?
Joseph just looks around for any of the castle cats, and if there is one, he just takes it and puts it outside.
The what?
I just suddenly had this entire memory of Boondock Saints when they've got the guns on the table and one smashes his hand down and then the cat just goes into vapor.
Oh,
okay.
So Joseph just looks around for any of the cats inside of the room that are part of the castle, and he just lets them out. That way that doesn't happen to them.
I'm going to say with everything that's been going around, there hasn't been too much. I mean, trust me, when you do see a cat around here, it doesn't look like something cuddly you want to mess with. So,
yeah.
And they also have a habit of vanishing really quickly too. But guys, like, no, you ain't going to do anything like that. You ain't that stupid. Nobody's that stupid.
Oh, do you really want to question my stupidity, my good friend?
You just let me go right now. No hard feelings. I won't even tell anybody about this.
Dude, he's a royal. How stupid do you think he actually isn't?
He is smart enough to keep his mouth shut for once.
All right. So
or not brazen enough.
All right. That is Jielith, all I needed to hear. So he'll just pick up the gun and then with a bunt right in the temple.
Okay. Just give me a quick we'll go ahead and call that an improvised attack. So give me a strength check and we'll see how badly you hurt him.
All right, so that's a 23 on that swing.
Okay, I'm going to roll something for damage. Yeah, you brain him something good.
Right. And it just went, all right, Joseph, check his pulse, make sure he's properly out before we throw him out.
I do so. And if there are any like skull bits that have fractured, I just try to gently push them back into place for this guy.
Give me a medicine check.
10.
He's breathing, he's unconscious. There seems to be some swelling on the head. Maybe that's going to fill in the hole that Jielith possibly put in the skull. Yeah, he'll be fine.
Okay, he'll be fine. Even if he does end up becoming a new village idiot, he'll at least be taken care of.
Well, if anything, he'll have a mark to know that you don't mess with King Jielith. So, cool. So you're gonna get a cart or something, or hire someone to bring this guy as far from the castle grounds as possible, and drop him off somewhere nice. Like a manure pit or something.
That can be done. A couple of the guards show up and just haul him away.
And then just as I get our Duke gets hauled away, it's like, I don't know about you, Joseph, but I feel so much better.
I feel a little dirty.
Joseph, just quick question. As the lord of this land, when you tell him he is going to be a duke, how much will do you put into that statement?
Are you talking about me or Jielith?
Jielith.
Do
you think I'm going to get the names right at this stage?
No.
Jielith, as the king, the lord of this land, how much will did you put into that statement?
Basically, just a moment. So I'm the Duke. That's when he just snapped and is like, "All right, I'm going to teach this son of a lesson." So
Okay.
it was pure, just like, I'm going to make you pay for the day I had.
Okay. I want you to make a wisdom roll for me.
Okay. All right, that will be a 19.
Okay. I'm just making some notes.
Goody.
Did we just seriously end up with a new dude?
In the quotations, Duke, as like an example of you don't mock the king.
Okay. Yeah.
And if anything, we can get a town crier to show that as an example as he's carried away as well.
Yeah, I think lots of people witnessed this event.
Yeah.
So things might be a little bit quiet for a couple of days.
Yeah, it is where it's like, usually we are okay with freedom, but this where freedom went a little too far.
Yeah. So,
oh yeah, Joseph, did you knife the red powder from him before we throw him away?
Yeah, I assume you kept anything of value on him, which what the red sand was the most valuable thing he had on him. Other than that, it was just a couple of cheap daggers. So
okay,
but you have let's say 3 pouches. These are single uses of red sand right now.
Okay, 3 red sand. Adding that to backpack.
Joseph just goes to his room and has a very long shower.
So, is there anything else anybody wants to accomplish? Like I said, you're I guess Seneschal, whenever you're away, Malcolm Grimthorn, he did say, like he had to go to do some outside experiments while you're in town for a little while. His main thing was just stay away from his laboratory because he's convinced that if you touch anything, you'll break it.
Yeah, that's fair. I just meant at this moment, like Jielith is just basically trying to mend wounds at this moment.
Yeah.
Unless it is like he needs a reason to fight in his current condition.
Joseph's just going to try and find like books in the library about taming shadow hounds, because he's just
Okay.
like, we need those. That's a very good sign of power, but also puppies. Everybody loves a good pup.
Make an Arcana check for me. If you're saying something, I can't hear you.
I said I'm using one of my psionic power dice on that as well, so
Okay.
16.
16. You do see that there is a way to summon shadow mastiffs, but you have, with the 16, you haven't quite figured out the all of the arcane formula yet, but you're on the right track. So it'll be something you'll be able to figure out in the future. Since we're doing a little bit of a nebulous timeline here, you tell me how you want to go about trying to bind these things into your service, and we'll figure out what the price is later.
I'm just pretty much going to be I'm going to review exactly what it means to have one bound to you, what they do, and sort of review over contracts that they make. And
Well,
then once
okay, go ahead.
Once I've got an idea of that, in order to get this Shadow Mastiff to then start looking at the potential for making a deal with Joseph, he's going to pretty much be like, you'll have a giant kennel and you'll have all the free rabbits that you can eat. And then as well, you can bite the ass of anybody who voiced the hell out of Jielith.
Okay. Here's what you've learned about them from, that bit of research you did. These are creatures that form from the Shadowfell. That means that maybe they aren't always natural information. Maybe they're dogs that absorb too much of the shadow stuff. Maybe they are creations of shadow stuff purely. They are not intelligent. They are beast. So, but the thing is, you got to be a strong-willed person to command them. And because of the nature of these things, I'm going to say I will let you bind them, but you're going to have to pay a price not in gold. We're talking about like I'll probably let you pick it out, but you're going to need to take on one of the dark gifts of the Shadowfell. And we can go over that later on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You will have bound the alpha of the pack. Now, the way this works is that the alpha will, has to keep all the other shadow mastiffs in line, and they are constantly trying to prove their worth. So if the alpha ever gets weakened, you might have to go through the binding process again. But I figured that it's easier for you to control one than it is to control half a dozen. So as long as you can keep control over the mastiff and keep the alpha in power, but if it gets weakened, and they're like sharks, if they sense blood, they will eat their own and take command themselves. So, like I said, we'll figure out the full details later on. But you can now call upon the Shadow Mastiff, and depending on exactly what we work out outside a game, you'll probably be able to at least summon at least one to you. So that's going to be interesting. Okay, so a little bit more time has passed. Again, I guess, Joseph, you've been trying to train the locals into an army fighting force again?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and give me a performance check to see how you are going about, training them.
I got an 8.
Okay. Yeah, they're getting better about stabbing each other in very painful ways. And they do it every day. They have not quite figured out that, killing each other is counterproductive in your mind, but your number of recruits doesn't seem to diminish. They're all just back the next day, mindlessly stabbing each other for an hour or two.
I keep trying to teach them form and function to the attacks and how to defend.
But with an 8, you're not doing very good at it.
No, it's pretty much like every single day.
I would say if anything, they are becoming more vicious about their stabbing. Like they're getting slightly more energetic as they're now jumping and stabbing each other, with like what was originally sticks that were supposed to be rapiers. They're now breaking them so they got sharper, pointier sticks, and some of them are really getting into this whole murder thing.
Jielith,
Yeah.
I need your help. They're actively murdering each other as trading.
Right. Hearing the keyword murder, he'll grab SOS and run.
Yeah. As you come out to the training field, there's now just a couple left, and they are, they're prison shanking the third guy. There's like 12 dead people, and 2 of them are finishing off another one before they turn on each other.
Just imagine just Jielith's coming in and like, so sword?
Probably try to speak their language of absolute violence and destruction. I'm trying to teach them finesse. They just seem to really like breaking things and using them to stab each other and beat the shit out of each other.
The language of violence.
Joseph, Jielith, I'm going to say this is another moment where you feel the weight of your mantle. What do you want your people to do? Now we're going to go with how Jielith interprets the things Joseph has told him. You see this. What do you want of your people?
I guess he's gonna go like to his roots. He's going back to his soldier code, like kill that needs to be killed. If there's no reason, no need, then there's no need. How to convey that through the language of violence?
I'm going to say that you have a bit of a subconscious feeling that you can basically impart your will onto them. If you want to kill them all, you can, but
the way I see it, like if
welcome back, by the way.
Yeah. So I imagine he'll just take some west and just slam the sword in front of him, and with the sky self, just make it. I just make him just more. I don't want to say demonic, but definitely to like some kind of ichor, kind of like demonic look to him.
Okay, you want to sort of surround yourself with a shadowy presence.
Yeah.
Okay. The way I'm seeing this, and tell me if it's what you intended, the shadows around Jielith seem to grow darker and actually emanate from him in tendrils. The blue scales are almost deep purple now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do that.
And then he'll just as loud as he can is just go forth and go, "Seize this at once!"
They stop and turn to you.
If you wish to murder, I cannot stop you, but ensure that murder is within purpose of your defense. If it's senseless, it will not be tolerated.
They say, "We were merely doing as instructed, sir."
Guy just turns to Joseph.
I was instructing them on form and function. they started to become more brutal. It's like something inside of them has sort of snapped, and they started to get pleasure out of causing pain.
Jielith, before you speak, the weight of the mantle is still upon you. Your next words to them will carry a wisdom check to impart what it is you want. So choose those words carefully, please.
The next time you bring up arms, it's for self-defense only.
All right, make your wisdom check, please.
That'll be a 6.
Okay. The people who remained alive will go back to their fields and begin tending their fields again. Nobody picks up the bodies. The next day, they're all just gone. And
Joseph will check to see if they resurrected, because that seems to be the thing that they normally do, is resurrect.
how do you go about checking that? Because you don't possess a great deal of magical power yourself.
Let's just check their houses.
What do you mean you check their houses?
I go to their homes to see if they're there.
Yeah, the next day they're all there. They're out tending the fields like they normally would, going about their normal day. Can I help you, Sir Joseph?
No, just wanted to make sure that you're okay.
Very well.
It's
And they
like doing
just-
like the old school RPG. You just walk into people's houses.
Yeah, they're eating their unflavored soup. Can I help you?
Puts a little bit of pepper in it for him, and then goes, just wanted to make sure you're okay.
The
And then he
devil
walks.
salt. I don't know if I can eat this.
It's pepper. It's
Yes,
okay.
But sir, salt is like for celebrations only, and you added spicy salt.
It's a celebration that you're okay.
Very, very tentatively taking that next sip.
Would you like some nutmeg to go with that too?
Sir, I could never. I am but a humble commoner.
You are a commoner of Evialia, and that is a lot.
As you say.
I put a little bit of nutmeg in his soup before going.
Okay. But yeah, your number of residents doesn't change from yesterday to today.
Uh-huh.
Although the non-residents are keeping a wide berth from Jielith.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a few of them even left town. But then again, none of them were permanent. In fact, some of them I gotta get out of here. This place is kind of getting to me. So they'll leave for a little while. But a few more suddenly left town after.
So, shall we take care of that bridge now?
Certainly.
Okay. Again, I'll ask, is there anything you wish to bring with you on this particular mission?
I guess at this moment be potions after the first encounter today.
I'm going to say you don't really have a town alchemist, so potions will be something I'll have to get you access to a little later on.
All right, I'll Jielith will make a notation of that. Like, need alchemist for hire. Brothers, here you go. Put the postings out.
Yes, of course, sir. I shall have the Duke get right on this.
Don't need about him.
Very well, sir.
I'm pretty sure the paperwork, if they put this under their light of duty to be done.
They will hand it off to the Turtle News Network to put up some postings for you.
That'll work.
That how?
I don't understand the question.
The Duke? We have a Duke? We actually seriously have a Duke?
No, we dispose the Duke. I use that as an insult.
Withers, is there a Duke?
But of course, sir.
I just look at
King
Jielith.
Jielith appointed him just the other day.
Because Joseph, let me put it simply: the role of Duke is not a real position of power. It is there as a joke. Think of it, back in in school, and they put the dunce cap on. Just replace the word dunce with Duke, and we threw him in a bunch of dookies, so therefore he is Duke.
Oh God, we're gonna have so much to have to organize when it comes to government.
So you're about fourth year Duke. No, we don't have a Duke.
But
But
do we actually?
Yeah, you positioned a Duke. Oh no, I put him Dookie.
But okay, let's put it this way. What do we call the lesser nobility of the kingdom then? Because if the Duke is a title that says you're the biggest jackass in the entire nation, what do we have for actual, upstanding royal, like people who have done actions and deeds of royal recognition?
To kind of backtrack it, we have a position that's literally called the royal assassin within the young king's court. Do you really want to go far on that?
That's my position. But like, I'll start writing up some stuff and I'll bring it up to you when you're
Trying
in
to
better
bring order
moods.
to a sea of chaos.
Yeah.
Rebelling against chaos.
It's like trying to stop all the streams of chaos into the large lake of chaos. Which is
Which
like,
is
yeah, you can
absolutely,
focus on the streams, but you're missing the big picture.
there's so much chaos. The chaotic good character is looking at it going, no, we need laws.
There should be a method to the chaos.
Yeah. I mean, you literally have the king right here if you want to start making some laws. I'm just going to ask that you do wisdom checks with all of them to see which ones are implemented.
I'm just going to I am out of character going to like spend a couple of weeks actually writing up laws from Joseph's point of view that can then be put up to Jielith to see if they're enforceable.
I am fine with that. We'll just see which ones actually take.
Oh God. Yeah. And then Joseph starts leading Jielith over towards the bridge
Okay.
that needs to be dealt
Hey.
with. But we made that. It actually happened. Oh God. He's just mind blown. That is an actual position.
Do you go to check on this, or you just walk out of town towards the bridge? Because the bridge is technically outside your domain, but it is like, the faster route to your domain, I guess I'd say. It isn't fully your responsibility unless you want to make it your responsibility, is what I'm saying.
Oh, we need to make it our responsibility because it's
Okay.
a trade route. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, the
But if
entire
you
way
want
up there.
to, like I said, I'm just saying that, before you go into that, if you want to check on, the person that you threw into the manure pile.
No, we'll check on them when we get back.
Okay.
I'm also going to put everybody on notice that if they see the Evialia, formerly known as Princess, that they should report her as soon as possible and get her the heck out of the country. because she's no longer welcome.
Okay. You informed the paperwork of that. All right. So as you start to make your way towards the bridge, it's very easy to see the ogre who is like kind of sitting there, although he doesn't notice you for a little while because he's got his back to you.
Of course.
So
Oi,
Hmm.
big guy.
He kind of, gets up. You hear a lot of rumbling, like, yeah.
So, kind of keeping people from going over the bridge into our country. What's up?
Want to pass? Gotta have boss's permission.
And bosses.
He kind of steps aside, and on a small, like, apple box, there is a kitten who is currently batting at a butterfly. So it's like up on its hind legs, like batting around. The butterfly lands on its nose and it's like, and falls over backwards as it hits itself. Like, boss is in a meeting, gotta wait. And as the butterfly finally kind of flutters away, the cat like looks up.
Oh, Patches, don't play kitten right now. I know it's you, Patches. Come on.
The ogre is just looking at you like, can't cross without boss's permission.
I just look at the cat and I go, Patches, come on. Every single time you try this, it takes about 20 minutes and people just, I don't want to have to deal with the entire giving you a scritch behind the ear, playing like as if I'm going to give you tuna. Just tell me what you want.
The kitten is just looking at you because you were the thing making noise. Meow. And it just kind of walks in a circle and lays down.
I lift up the apple box.
Oh, the ogre is not going to let you do that. So the big hand lands on you without saying anything.
Is that the boss's office?
Yes.
So how did you get the kitten warlock on your side?
Can't pass without boss's permission.
I just looked down to the cat. Patches, can we speak with the boss?
I don't know what kind of check this is. Give me insight, I guess. I'll admit this is weird even for us.
11. No, it's not. We've had a cat warlock before that we sent into another dimension. In
I
another
know,
game.
but that was a different character, so this one doesn't know that. And that was Mr. Scritches. I want to have him back one day.
I seriously thought that was this character.
It might still be, because with an 11, you just like, this cat is just totally ignoring you, which means it's either a cat or extremely devious and well suited to its role of being a cat.
So it's a cat or a cat.
Yes.
The only constant is that it's a cat. All right, Patches, you can have the salmon in my pack if you tell the boss that we're here to speak with him about the bridge.
Make an animal handling check at disadvantage. Could not hear you, but I think that was 1.
Yep.
Okay. The cat just kind of hisses at you, and the ogre says, boss says no, and pushes you away.
I just look to Jielith and go, can you? Because the cat's just, Patches is just being Patches right now and not wanting to help in any sort of.
Do we have to make another Duke?
No, the ogre's actually following along his orders, and we're outside of our boundaries technically. But we just need to be able to speak with whatever's inside the box.
But if you're just going to stand there, the ogre is going to pick up the fallen tree that he appears to be using as a club.
He'll just like turn towards the ogre. It's like, so I'm a good man. So what's the policy meeting on the boss? We have set an appointment. What do we have to do?
He kind of looks at the cat and is like, you can ask boss now.
Okay. Jielith will get down to cat level.
Okay.
Hello, my good sword. I'm King Jielith. I'm assuming you are the boss around here.
The cat just sort of opens its eyes and looks at you.
Okay, great start. So anyway, we had a business on said bridge. This is my companion, Joseph. He is with me. And we would like to chat.
The kitten blinks at you.
Jielith looks at Joseph with just eyes wide with a sign of help over his eyes.
The apple box.
So, do we have permission to go into office?
Make an animal handling check for me.
What? Oh, beautiful. This is gonna be great. 15.
15. Okay. As you're talking to the kitten, it kind of gets up, walks over to you, and pats you on the nose without extending its claws a couple of times, and then just sits down. Ogre's like, boss says you can pass.
Okay, Joseph, do your thing.
I go over to the box and I lift it up.
Oh, you're still not allowed to pick up the box. You can talk to boss. You can't pick up boss.
Hi. We're representatives of the land of Evialia, which is just that way, and we've noticed a quite large disruption to our trade routes recently, and we were wondering if that was because of yourselves.
The cat is just ignoring you.
I'm talking directly to the box at this point.
Oh, the box ignores you.
Jielith, I'm kind of at a loss for words here. Because either the box is a mimic, or there's somebody inside of the box, or the cat is just a normal cat and the ogre's decided that it's the boss.
Joseph, I was trying to question you on these two choices now, and for us to deal with, and both of them seem to be going south.
Hey. The first one was a very legitimate one that we could have dealt with if things hadn't gone sideways.
Yeah, no, if the cards were in our favor, yeah, I've heard that before. I've been in wars.
Give the kitty a scritch. Make it all happy.
Fine. Rather than proceed to do chin scritchies.
Okay. I will say because with your other roll, give me another animal handling at advantage.
Boys. This is literal animal handling. This is great. All right, that'll be a 9.
9. Yeah, you basically you scratch a little too hard and the cat scratches you back. And the ogre just steps in front, holding his club.
Sorry. I don't know what's your next part idea.
How about we set you up with a cottage here and a little arm, and every 2 months we bring river trout for the fish, and you guys take licenses by payment of dried cod.
The ogre is just like, you can almost hear the gears turning, and man, they need some oil, as he just says, boss says no more meetings today, leave. And he is holding that fallen tree up very menacingly now. No sound.
I just look at him, and it's like the scene from when they introduced Puss in Boots, and he wants something from Shrek. Joseph's eyes just get really big, and he does a little bottom lip wobble, and he goes, "But we want to give you a house and a job to be able to let people through and make sure that they're good people."
And he just gets meaner. It's like, boss says no.
Boss would get salmon and cod and all the good kitty toys.
I'll let you roll an insight on the ogre.
Sorry, 12.
12. The ogre is absolutely going to go with the cat's impression, and the cat didn't like you.
Don't want to hurt you guys. I just want to give you a job and build a small cottage for you. That way you guys have some place to live, and you can, let people in and out. And you're not messing up with the trade of our entire nation.
And he's just glaring at you. Boss says leave. No leave, I smash.
Boss is a good kitty that deserves a good warm home, and so do you. We want to do that.
He kind of looks at the cat, looks back, just you can leave or you can roll initiative at this stage, but
Can you humiliate an ogre?
I mean, you can try to influence the cat one more time, but if you mess up, then big tree club.
I'm going to try and influence the cat one last time.
Okay, what do you want to do to try to get the cat to like you?
I reach inside of mine and Jielith's bag, and from my bag, I pull out a salmon. And from Jielith's bag, I pull out one of the bits of red sand, and I tuck it gently
in there. I had a feeling you were going for the red sand.
Okay. So you just laced what I'm gonna assume is like smoked salmon with the equivalent of cocaine, and you're giving it, and you're offering it to a kitten.
Yes.
All right. Make your animal handling at advantage.
Well,
Okay. So the cat is very, very slowly going to walk over and start nibbling on the fish. It's still kind of eyeing you. And the red sand kicks in, and its eyes just dilate fully as it just goes ham. And the ogre is going to interpret this as the cat wants you all dead. So let's roll initiative one more time, I guess.
Good for old time's sake.
Oh, God. I did not think we were going to drug a kitten.
17.
That was 1.17.
16.
Okay. And let me double check him. Oh, yeah. Ogres are very slow. So I did want to point out that the cat got a natural 20 on its constitution check. So other than the fact that it is now just super high, it will be fine. But you guys have to deal with the ogre who is now who interprets the cat, becoming a little psychotic fur ball as its order to become a giant psychotic flesh ball, I guess.
Before we continue on, was Jielith able to heal at all?
Oh yeah, this takes place a couple days later. So.
Okay, good. Because I was to say,
Yeah.
I do not want to take on
Yeah,
an
sorry,
ogre.
I meant to imply that this was not consecutive days. You're back to full at the start of this.
Okay, good.
So, Joseph, you get to go first, and then Jielith. I really was trying to offer non-combat options, but I didn't think you were going to give a cat cocaine.
You're talking to a guy who literally grew up with the fact that one of his friends fed a ferret cocaine.
I don't think that was a good excuse for giving drugs to the fictional cat.
So first thing that first bad idea, no, 17th bad idea of the day that Joseph does is he stabs out with his psychic blades with a 15.
Okay, that'll hit.
So that's 4 damage unless I get sneak attack.
Yeah, you get sneak attack. As long as you believe it's be justified, and I trust you to know the rules of your ability.
All right, so total damage is 12.
12. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of howling at that. Jielith, it is your turn. I guess I should roll for the cat too.
Yeah.
The cat is just running in circles at the moment.
Just us versus ogre, or is it us, ogre, and hyper cat?
Well, like I said, hyper cat is just running in circles. So
okay, good.
I
will be rolling for its choice at the appropriate time.
It's like, don't make me swing at a kitten.
I still have I still have my bonus action for psychic blades as well. So
okay.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 hits. Now, I will say you're in combat, but that doesn't mean you have to use violence as your only solution. It's just, this is an ogre. They are violent.
Yes.
7 psychic damage on top
Okay.
of the on top of everything else.
Okay. Jielith, is now your turn.
And just at this moment, unless Jielith can think of anything better, which at this moment not, so he'll just defend himself and attack the ogre.
Okay, attack the ogre.
All right, swinging with SOS. I'll be 17.
17 hits. This guy has terrible armor.
All right, that will be 14 slashing on the first swing.
Holy crap. I wish he had rolled better initiative, because there's only 2 of you and you've already. All right, that was your first swing. Yeah, you kind of have him, you take him good in the leg, and he's going to be.
That's all I can hit.
He's large. Aiming for his head's going to take some extra effort.
Yeah. So now for the second swing, that'll be a 16.
16 hits.
All right. Here comes the damage. All right. That'll be 16 total for that swing.
Okay. And anything else?
At this moment, no. I'll stand ground there.
Okay. He is going to aim for Joseph, because Joseph is the one who got the cat all worked up. And that is going to be a 15 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Okay. Let's get the higher die out. That's going to be 15 bludgeoning damage as he just clubs you with this giant tree. Well, not a giant tree, but all trees are bigger than you.
Yeah. So Joseph is still standing. He's just like, that. Is that a birch?
Oh my God.
Did you?
Okay.
Did-
And now I'm going to roll to decide what the cat is going to do. I'm going to say with that roll, the cat is going to fling itself. I want Joseph to make a dex check for me. I really don't know what to do with a high cat.
Dex check or a dex save?
Let's call it a check because your life isn't really in danger at this moment from the cat. It's still a one-time
5.
kitten. 5? Okay. Because the cat is now running around your feet, and with that check, your attacks will be at disadvantage. Because if you mess up, you will fall.
I am going to I'm going to do something that's probably going to make me the worst character ever in the eyes of the audience as well as Jielith. I'm going to yeet the cat into the ogre's face.
Okay. Describe the action before I give you the challenge rating, because that might alter it a little bit.
As it's running around Joseph's feet, Joseph is just going to time it so that he can scoop it and fling it with his foot into the ogre's face. Just like in one measured movement. Just scoop and flick.
Okay. I'm going to call this one an athletics check because you are basically trying to punt the cat, but we're still going to go at disadvantage because your footing is a little unstable at the moment. And the cat is very fast. Can't hear you.
I'm going to use the psychic die on.
Okay.
$11.
11. All right, let me roll for the cat. You miss the cat altogether. Now, that was your action.
Action is I am going to jump at a tree and hide.
All right. I'm going to say that's going to be a little bit of a difficult challenge because, most of the trees are kept away from the riverbed. So make your hide at disadvantage also, because we're talking about the middle of the day, kind of hard to blend into shadows.
15.
Okay.
It's a 15.
All right. And it is Jielith's turn now.
There's like, so do I witness this event with Joseph? No.
I think you saw it, but remember, everything's happening at once. How do you interpret what you saw?
I just think it's just Joseph being Joseph, so I'll keep on attacking the threat.
Okay, keep on.
Because I know, like, Joseph comes up with creative ways in combat.
Okay. Yeah, it's totally your turn then. You
right.
can continue on the threat.
Right. First swing towards the ogre, that'll be a 21.
Yeah, that hit. I'm about to say you hit every time. Good God. I know it's possible to roll a 1, but
12 damage on that one.
okay. Yeah, this ogre is just howling in rage and pain now.
Good. Second swing.
Okay.
Don't kill him.
19 crit.
Okay, roll that crit damage.
I love being a champion.
I just like all the weird things I was going to throw at you today. I didn't think this was on the list. And it is just like, oh yeah, your people kill each other and come back the next day. Then you drug a cat and get into a fight with an ogre.
Okay, that's going to be 29 total damage on that crit.
Okay. Jielith, how do you finish this fight?
I imagine it's just where it's like every swing, left leg, right leg, left leg, right leg is enough where he gets both legs so that ogre comes tumbling down.
Okay. So yeah, with your last one, you kind of like take his leg. He's losing balance. He's falling forward. And that's when you get your crit.
Yeah. And as far as okay, Joseph, I think we're free to go to the office now. Joseph?
Quick question. What was your final blow as the ogre is falling? What was your final blow like?
I just imagine just like now that it's just he goes down now. I just imagine he just takes SOS and just going, I don't want to say crotch first, but I have no other definition. Just crotch first, just dragging the sword all the way up to the head.
You basically eviscerate him.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess this would be more of a vivisection because he's in two pieces now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just poking my head out from the tree. Where's the cat?
The cat is still hyper zooming as it leaps over it's basically using the ogre corpse as a ramp to jump.
I just offer more salmon to the cat and just go, we can.
Until this cat comes down, it ain't stopping. Like it's not. And like I said, if it hadn't gotten a natural 20, it might have already had a heart attack. But this thing is going to be hasted for a while. So there is,
oh boy,
for the next 30 minutes at least, there is no feeding this cat because it's just going to run in circles.
So we can't.
And if it sees anything that it thinks is prey, it'll jump it.
All right, so do we just monitor the little guy, or what do we want to do here, Joseph?
Well, we need to take the cat somewhere safe because the ogre was protecting it, and I think the ogre just decided to use the cat as an excuse for, who passes the bridge and who doesn't, because ogres sometimes get very funny ideas.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's like as if their brain is just filled with 5 different me's inside of there, but they don't really agree with each
I wouldn't know anything about that. So anyway, about that crate.
Yeah, the crate is just sitting there. Every now and then the cat jumps over it, parkours off of it.
Jielith just lifts the crate.
There was like a hole in the back and like some cloth underneath where the cat would sleep.
Put the crate down and back up again.
Nothing has changed.
Okay, so this isn't a trick.
Like I said before, I think the ogre was using the cat as an excuse. I mean, good news is we can bring the ogre's body all the way back to the kingdom, and then our resident mage Seneschal has new alchemical stuff.
I suppose so. I'll get the ogre, you get the cat.
Kitty.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and roll this right quick. First off, Jielith, an ogre weighs around 1,000 pounds, which means that each half is 500 pounds.
Yep.
So you need to make an athletics check to see how much you can carry with you.
All right, here we go. Right, that'll be a 19 on athletics.
19. Okay, yeah, you loop up each half with some rope and you're able to drag it along. There's nothing that isn't disgusting about this.
Yeah, just imagine it's like almost like a backpack where it's just like each rope over each shoulder, and it's just
like ankles are on your shoulders as you haul this thing.
Exactly.
I don't want to get into the detail because this is just this is gross roadkill.
Yeah, I imagine just like there's like bandits like out there with daggers in hand, and they see Jielith, and they just go right back to the
Exactly.
shadows.
Exactly. I will say that the ogre had kept a collection of coins. We'll just call it a grand total of 5 gold
Okay.
in various denominations. Joseph, there's a super hyper high cat that doesn't like you very much. How do you go about collecting it?
once you get the laughter out, go ahead and unmute.
I don't know what the hell is happening in this game anymore, guys. I'm gonna be honest.
We made someone a duke. We went for a cat, and we failed at getting shadow puppies.
Well, I've gotten the cat high on cocaine now. I'm now just gonna I'm just gonna find as much catnip throughout the wild catnip as I can in the area, and I'm just going to make circles of it everywhere for the cat.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to make your
Because
own laser.
you have the poisoner proficiency. I will say add your proficiency to a survival check to look for natural catnip. It's not your normal poison, but I think you got to know one herb from another.
For a moment, I thought he said he's going to craft a laser pointer and make it drag it into the castle that way.
So that makes it a 20.
Okay. Yeah, you can find some. And let's see how the cat reacts to having something else put into its system. All right. It's going to take a little while. The cat is apparently a super strong cat. When it grows up, it's going to be a freaking tomcat mountain lion like type thing. Like if you ever read the Dresden Files, this is going to be Mister.
It's going
to be big enough to knock people over.
I thought it was going to be like it'll grow up to be a giant jaguar.
Well, in my head, it was a tabby kitten, but apparently it has Griffin in its veins because it is not perishing from the combination of drugs in its system. So when I stat this cat out, it's going to have poison resistance, apparently.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stat out the kitten now. It'll take it a little while, but finally it gets really into the catnip, and the cocaine kind of, the red sand wears out and leaves this thing completely exhausted.
I'm just gonna put it into the box with a bunch of catnip, and I'm going to carry it like that.
Okay. So you return, dragging the corpse of an ogre.
And just that moment, me like, town crier, alert! The king has returned.
And the Duke is there. The king has returned with his prize. Yes, the Duke is there. He is covered in, well, you know what he's covered in. We don't have to say it. But I want you to make a perception check as you pass by him.
Of course, that'll be a 13.
Okay.
16.
Okay. There's no light in his eyes anymore. He's a resident now.
Just look at Jielith with a horrified look.
I will also say he does have a shovel with him. He's effectively the poop smith.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, all those new horses that all your tourists are riding in, he's going to help keep the streets clean, because apparently that's one of the Duke's jobs. He is the Duke of Dookie, after all.
Yeah.
So, unless you guys have any other specific goals, we will kind of start to wrap up. You alert Grimthorn that you have an ogre's corpse, and I'm going to say he has no value in that whatsoever. And in fact, he condemns you for wasting his time on something like this before he slams the door in your face. But you do have from the previous adventure a manual of flesh golems and enough notes to do some other interesting work. And I'm forgetting our turtle's name at the moment because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Janlin.
Yeah, that's it. He has been really wanting to put together some constructs. So I will say that if you guys want to add the remains of the ogre to your future flesh golem, you can do that. Now, granted, by the time you can actually afford to put them together right, I'll say if you have the money for a flesh golem, you've got one right now. If you don't, you'll have a skeleton system to work with later. Because I don't think much of the flesh is going to make it before you guys can figure out how to put something that big together animated. Oh, dear
I'm afraid to ask how much to make a flesh golem.
You know what? Let's just check right quick. Because with D&D Beyond, I can find these things. Let's see, Manual of Golem. I think that's it. Yes, Manual of Golems. Flesh Golem takes about 60 days and 50,000 gold pieces. I thought they were on the lower end. They are top tier.
I was going to say, like, I don't think our kingdom is that profitable yet.
Yeah. But you know what? You'll have some good skeleton to start building the frame with.
Yeah, there we go.
You'll just find more flesh to put on. You know what? We'll say that we won't be completely discussing with this, but we will say that there's a way to preserve it so that when you are ready to build a flesh golem, you have an ogre frame. We'll probably make this more of a custom roll to see what you're able to do later. Yes. But at the same time, I'll remove some of the price later, or you can go custom. Either way, this is going to be too fun to not let you have, toy with. Oh, it is actually I was wrong. It is one of the cheaper ones. It is the cheapest one to build. It's just that like a clay golem would probably have been weaker, but takes more. Anyway, each golem is his own thing. We won't. Yeah. There's no point in getting into all that. Man, this is weird.
Yeah.
So, add that to your supplies for your future flesh golem.
Okay.
So, wow. Wrapping up with everything you have learned and accomplished over these couple of weeks. So, is there anything else you want to do, or any goals you want to start aiming for as we move into future story arcs? Because I think you guys learned a lot about your land here recently. Yeah, and you've accomplished a few other things.
Yeah, because before it was about Jielith was about to ready put a freeze on any of Joseph's missions for a while after they have starting on south. But after one successful, I was like, okay, we'll still heed to the ways of the land and see what is needed to be done to help growth and the ways of no hope. I just imagine this Jielith is just where it's like he will then just like sit in his throne and just wait for business.
Okay.
Rather than go on personal journeys against unicorns.
Okay.
Joseph is just going to try and find ways to make the kingdom a steady, stable income.
In that case, as we're fading out, I want Joseph to make a wisdom save for me.
$16.
Okay, Joseph, this has been a little bit hard on you emotionally, but you do start to feel like a little bit of just the despair creeping over you, but you're able to shake it off. I think this is a good place for us to wrap up for the evening.
Oh yes.
Like I said, we'll figure out a little bit of what is to come as we move forward. But as always, thank you guys so much for giving me an interesting game.
But of
Uh,
course.
you have a new pet cat that probably doesn't like Joseph very much. Well, that cat is going to have to get some stats because, good God,
Yeah, Griffin needs some stats.
uh, Joseph will be able to start to summon for Shadow Mastiff soon, and we're going to figure out what price he's paying for that. And Jielith,
Yay.
you have found out that your will carries weight in your land.
Yep.
And can't wait to see how you make use of that. So,
Yes.
all right, everybody, where can we find you at the internet? Let's start with Joseph.
I am Kyle. You can find me on Twitch at Flint Ewood 756, where Mondays I do a podcast called Beyond the Spine with Nick, who is one of the Vampire the Requiem players, and we go through different RPGs and how to run them.
And Crumpler.
Hi, I'm Crump64, and also known as Hizzy Crump. You can find me in almost every form of social media under that tag of Crump64. You'll most commonly find me on occasional on Sundays. I'll be playing with the lovely Lady Crones. This is my D&D campaign, where we are currently going through Spelljammer, which is basically D&D in space. And whenever I am not tired from working at Channel 2 News, I will stream randomly whatever I feel like and so on. And now, so what else? And I'm hoping to do more of that because the last couple of months I've been focusing on getting a Thor cosplay done for a convention that is now passed, so I can finally go back in that focus.
And I want to say the costume really did look amazing. You put some effort into that, and it showed. Seriously, go find it on Twitch, Twitter, everybody. He looks fairly cool. And as for me, I am Andy. I am Wart Films everywhere on the internet. Right now, I am actually putting a little bit more effort in doing a little bit of streaming here after work myself, because when you got to work a day job, it makes it so much harder to do the video work I've been wanting to do, especially when it's 90 degrees. Now we're getting into the fall. Maybe I'll get time to do something, but I just got Dead by Daylight, and I suck at that game. But if you stop by once in a while, you can watch me be terrible. I couldn't beat the bots on either side of the fence. I lost to bots. So yeah, stop by here once in a while. I'm either playing a game to relax or a game that's infuriating me. But I'm playing those, and I like to play with other people. So drop me a line wherever you're, and we'll set something up. Until then, I will be next week over on Kyle's channel when we're doing a one-shot set in the world of darkness of the Requiem. And I am absolutely positive I'm going to die that night because it's Kyle. And if you're not, I don't think I'm going to survive as immortal in his world. Maybe I will. We'll see.
You just don't survive as a mortal in the world of darkness anywhere.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. But anyway, yeah. So check out everybody's socials. Join us again in the future. We're going to do a couple more episodes in what I'm calling season 2 of the Trick Roll, but I'm just so happy that your land is growing and spreading darkness across the plains. We will see you next time, everybody. Farewell.
Jielith, are we the bad guys?
Nope.
And that's where I'm cutting the audio feed. Oh.